Every producer goes through 5 steps on their way to the top, from the first time that you open up your DAW to the moment that it finally clicks. And the faster that you know what level that you're at, the faster you'll be able to level up. Let's get into it, guys. If you don't know who I am, my name is Bricks. I'm a music producer. I'm a producer for the biggest artists in the world, Drake, Gunna, Lil Wayne, Young Thug, Lil Baby. And I've helped hundreds of producers get their first placements, their first sales, and their first plaques. Let's get into it, guys. So stage 1, I would like to call the curious beginner. You just got your computer and downloaded some software, just got FL Studio, maybe got some stock plugins, just downloaded a bunch of free drum kits. Maybe you're just using stock drums. I would definitely avoid doing that, guys. If you're in stage 1, go ahead and, if you want to get to stage 2, go ahead and get you some legit plugins, get you some better drum kits. I'll give you some of my drum kits for free. Click the link down below. Now look, you might be an artist and you don't have any beats, or you're just super interested in music production and you downloaded these programs and you just started making your first beats. And to you and your homies, everything sounds fire until you play it up against some shit that's on the billboard. Until you play it against some professional music, then you realize, okay, this don't sound as good as I thought. So you start trying to figure out how to make your stuff sound better. You start copying YouTube tutorials. You download a whole bunch of presets and a whole bunch of more sounds. And what happens is you end up starting to overproduce your beats because you're trying to overcompensate to make your shit sound like what you think that it should sound like. Like you hear your beats and then you hear other people's professional producers' beats that sound so much better. So now you're trying to overcompensate and overkilling all your sounds to try to get that professional sound. But that is not the way to achieve that. I'm going to show you guys how to achieve that professional sound. Instead of just adding as many sounds as you possibly can, what you want to do is be intentional about every single sound that you add. I produce in a way that is very simple, and I produce based on frequency ranges. So as far as melody goes, a lot of times I'll have one sound in the low range, maybe a bass. I'll have 1 or 2 sounds in the mid range, maybe a piano or a synth. And then I'll have 1 in the high range and then 1 in the super high range, which might be like a whistle or a theremin, something of that nature. So that might be 4 or 5 sounds max. Keep in mind that a great beat doesn't even need any sounds. It can be just drums. But as far as sounds, I really wouldn't add more than 5 sounds in any particular beat. If you have 8 sounds or 10 sounds going in a beat, there's probably things that you're doing that are really just overproducing and making the beat more busy than it needs to be. And you're probably overcompensating, overproducing. So that's a rule of thumb. If you got more than 5, 6 sounds in the beat, you're low-key going crazy. You're doing too much. You need to be intentional about what you're doing. And a lot of the times, I won't even have all 5, 6 sounds playing at once. I will have a few sounds playing in one section and a few sounds playing in another section for a switch up. So you might want to study arrangement so that your beats just don't sound overkill all the way through 3 minutes of just hardcore overkill. Like have a few sounds in the hook and then have a few different sounds in the verse, and that will help your beat sound a lot more professional. What I would personally advise is if you're in stage 1, I would be recreating popular beats that you like. Instead of just binge watching tutorials, copy things that you already like so you can start to understand, and your brain will start to pick up on, okay, this is enough sounds. Okay, let's arrange it this way, because you're like, there's no reason why you should be reinventing the wheel, reinventing the light bulb. We already have so much great stuff and resources. Just remake things that you already like and then innovate on those things. You don't have to start from absolutely nothing every single time. That is really going to help you get to level 2, stage 2 much, much faster. So let's talk about stage 2. Stage 2 is what I like to call the frustrated explorer. Like now you know how to work your DAW, but your shit still don't sound professional. Like you're like, man, okay, I'm gonna cut back on the amount of sounds that I'm using and be more intentional, but it still doesn't sound right. This is where you might start realizing that, okay, I know what I'm doing as far as my DAW is concerned, but now there's a problem with my mix. My shit don't sound clean. My beats still sound cluttered. You might start realizing that. And this is a good thing. Once you realize the problem, now you can work on fixing the problem. The bigger problem is when I hear people's beats, when you guys send me beats to listen to and everything is out of key, and if you don't know that it's out of key and you're like tone deaf, then you don't even know that you have a problem. So that's really, really bad. As long as you know that there's a problem, then we can work on the solution. So Now we know that we have a mixing problem, and I'm going to show you guys the easiest way to fix that. What you want to do is a technique that I call reference mixing. You're going to go on Spotify and download like a professional album, an instrumental album, like Future's album. They have an instrumental version. Drake's album, they have an instrumental version. Metro Boomin's album, they have an instrumental version. Download all those songs somehow and bring them into your DAW. And what I want you guys to do is play your beat and then play that song. Then play your beat again and then play that song again. And what I want you to do is listen to every single sound, not necessarily what the sound is doing, but where is it at in the mix? Where are the hi-hats? How loud are they? Where are the 808s? How are they hitting in the mix? The snare, the open hi-hats, the pianos, the synths. Focus on one instrument at a time and A and B your beats with those professional sounding beats. And I'm going to tell you why that's going to help you. Because these beats that you're hearing on these professional songs are mixed and mastered to sound good in every single arena. They sound good in an arena. They sound good at the club. They sound good on an iPhone. They sound good on AirPods. They sound good every single. So you know that that's correct. A lot of upcoming producers, they're making beats in their room and they never do a reference mix. They skip this step. So they're trying to figure out, dang, my stuff sounds good in my bedroom, but as soon as I take it out of my bedroom, I play it in the car, I play it in the club, play it in the studio, it don't sound right. Everything's all over the place. It's not hitting the same way. That's because your brain doesn't have a focal point when you're doing your mixing. So what you need to do is bring in a professional song that you already like and you already know sounds good everywhere, and do this A and B method. When you hear their hi-hats, tweak your hi-hat in the sonic spectrum. Tweak it in the mix. How loud is it? Where is it hitting in the pan? You know what I'm saying? In the stereo image. These are the things that are going to help you develop a professional sound. Do not skip this step, guys. It is super, super, super important. It's going to help you grow. Pause. Now, once you've completed stage one and you've worked on this reference mixing technique, then you're going to realize, okay, I know a little bit more about arrangement now. So now you're starting to make full beats. Now you understand intro, hook, verse, because now you've studied songs that are hot. You've studied your favorite songs and tried to remix them. So now you understand how a song is put together as far as the beat is concerned. You understand where things are hitting in the mix. And these are really going to help improve your skills as a producer. And you're going to start to understand why these songs feel good. Why do they sound good? Oh, because the mix is like this, the arrangement is like this. It makes it hypnotic. It makes it repetitive. It's not overloaded with sounds. There's room for the vocal. There's a space for the vocal in the stereo image. You're going to start to realize things like that, and it's going to help you get better. Now let's get into stage three, okay? If you're a stage three producer, this is what I like to call it a copycat phase. This is where you're trying to remake everybody's beat and you kind of sound like everybody else and you're struggling to have your own identity. So now you start really experimenting. Now you're like, okay, let me try these R&B chords with these trap drums. Let me try to do, like, you're experimenting and trying to develop your own sound, your own identity, which is super important to me and a lot of producers out there. At this point, you know how to work the DAW very well. You know how to make beats. You know how to arrange the beats. You know how to make your mix sound okay to where it doesn't sound bad everywhere. It sounds pretty decent in different types of speakers. And now you're trying to think, how can I make this my own sound? How can I make this me? And the thing that I would like to bring to your attention is, at this point, you want to start adding tools to your tool belt. What does that mean? This would be things like learning more chords. This would be very, very important at this phase, because chords kind of dictate the emotion of the song. They dictate how the beat makes you feel. They dictate sometimes the genre and the topic of what the artist is going to be saying or rapping, and it dictates how people feel when they hear your music. So at this point in your journey, I would be adding more and more popular chords to your toolkit, so then you can start rearranging those chords and coming up with your own sound. So what I advise people to do is learn chords to popular songs. If you are somebody who does not know how to play piano, do not get on your MIDI keyboard and start just pushing keys trying to figure out, does this sound good? Does this sound good? Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't reinvent the light bulb, bro. Don't try to, come on now. Start with things that are already great, and what you're going to do is transpose them move them around, change some of the notes around, and now you're developing your own chord progressions. You're developing your own sound. Start with things that already sound great and then innovate. That's what the great people do, bro. Steve Jobs made the iPhone, made the MacBook, but he didn't make the light bulb. He already started with, okay, we know how to do that. We know how to make electricity. We know how to do it. Let me just go ahead and innovate on what's already great. So this is really going to help your beat making go to the next level. Every single great producer has been through this stage where they're remaking and trying to sound like other producers, and then they start branching off and developing their own sound. This is a part of the process. This is part of progress. This is a very, very important part of the journey, and we've all been through it, even me. Now, at this point, you might start to take beat making more serious, and you might start to realize that, dang, I need to start collabing with more people and getting in the studio with more people, because stage 1 and stage 2, you're kind of like just messing around, starting to figure out, do you really want to make beats or not? But now if you reach stage 3, you're like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm making beats. I'm a beat maker. I'm a producer now. So now what I would super advise you guys to do is to start hanging out with more beat makers, hanging out with more producers, starting to meet more artists, start hanging out with more writers, start meeting, you know what I'm saying, people that are in your field. Now, what I think you guys should do, I think this is super important. You need to get into a community of people that understand what you're trying to do, especially if it's a community full of people that have already accomplished all of the goals that you're trying to do. If you're trying to go platinum, if you're trying to go gold, if you're trying to work with Drake, if you're trying to work with these big artists, you need to start trying to surround yourself with people that have already done that so that they can impart this information to you and get your confidence level to where you can believe that you can actually do this stuff, so you can actually achieve this stuff. So I'm inviting you guys to join my VIP community. Click the link down in the description. You're going to be surrounded by producers that have already went platinum, gold, multi-platinum, work with the biggest artists in the world, and people that are at your level as well. I'm also, for the people that join the VIP today, I'm going to give you guys access to all my drum kits, multi-kits, melody kits, MIDI kits, all of the things that will give you an amazing starting point if you're really starting to take this serious. And then I'm going to tell you a little more about how to brand yourself, how to network and get into these rooms so you can start getting these opportunities, so you can start getting these placements, so you can start making a living off of your beats, if that's something that you want to do. Click the link down below, join the VIP community. Now let's get into stage 4. Stage 4 is what I like to call the signature sound awakening. This is where you know how to make beats, you know how to arrange your stuff, your mix sounding good. Now you start to branch off and start to develop your own sound. You done got a tag now. You know what I'm saying? You are XYZ Beats. You starting to develop a little bit of brand for yourself. Now your Instagram is no longer Sam Smith, John Johnson, your shit is so-and-so beats. Now you're starting to realize, okay, I'm building an identity for myself. And you start making content around that name. You have your tag and everything like that. Maybe your friends are even calling you by your beat name now. They're like, yo, what's up, XYZ Beats? You know what I'm saying? People know you make beats now. At this point, you're getting a little more confident now. And a lot of people don't speak on this, but I feel like being confident as a producer is really what separates the winners from the losers. Like, imagine if you go into the studio and you're not confident and you don't believe that your beat is good. How is that going to make the artist feel? How is that going to make the people around you in the studio feel? They're going to be like, oh, I ain't feeling this shit. But if you go in there and now you got that confidence, you got that swag, they like, yeah, pull that beat up. We want to rock. We want to get on this beat. Yeah. Like, that's what you need. That's what separates niggas at stage 1 from people at stage 4. Stage 4, you like, I know this shit by now. I know I'm raw now. Now you done started to move around and get into some studios, and you started to realize that, okay, I could have a future in this. Now you're making a lot of beats, but now you're focused as well on finding a home for these beats. You want to make songs now. You want artists rapping on your beats. You want to be selling beats. You're creating a website for yourself. You're creating a brand for yourself so that people know who you are. They know you make beats. They know your sound, and they want to rock with you. That's the level that you're at. At this stage in your career, this is where networking and branding is almost more important than beats now. This is where you need to shift your focus from cooking up to doing sessions, getting content, branding yourself, meeting more people. This is where you need to shift your focus to that, because this is the thing that's going to create the opportunities. Now you got your skills together. Your skills is tight. You making beats. You got your sound. Your mix sounds good. You know how to arrange. Now you need to get out into the world, okay? That's where stage 4 is. Now, let's talk about stage 5. Stage 5, you start to realize that you're not just a beat maker anymore. You are actually a company now. Now you have an LLC. Now you have XYZ Beats LLC. You're a business now, and you realize that businesses have more than products. They have whole divisions for marketing, branding, outreach. How are you going to get clients? How are you going to accept payments? How are you going to charge these people? How are you going to negotiate with these artists? Do you need a lawyer? Do you need a manager at this point? This is where you start to go into CEO mode. At first you were just like, oh, beat making sounds so cool. Now you're in CEO mode. Now you're like, okay, who's going to read these contracts for me? You know what I'm saying? How am I going to get more major placements? How am I going to get more beat sales? You're thinking about that now. You know what I'm saying? And if you're at that stage and you're really trying to take everything to the next level, I would definitely tell you to join the VIP community, because I'm teaching producers how to get placements, how to get sales, how to brand themselves, how to network them with industry executives, artists, no matter where you are in the world. I have 30, 40 plaques. I've worked with people in every single continent on earth. Okay. So I know how to make this work. I have certain techniques and methods that I've developed over years and years of trial and error that can make any producer successful no matter where they are in the world, as long as they follow the steps and take action. That's the number one thing. Taking action, believing in yourself. You already got the beats now. You got the beats. Now what do you do? How do you get into those rooms? How do you get into those placements? That's what I want to show you. That's more than what I can teach you in this one YouTube video. I want you guys to click the link down below. Join the VIP community. Send me some beats. I want to hear what you guys have been cooking up, and I'm going to give you guys some stage 5 sauce. Now, this is what I want to leave you guys with. Realize that all of the producers that you know and love have been through all of these stages and possibly beyond, but the only difference between them and you is they didn't stop leveling up. So as long as you keep going and you keep leveling up, and don't be stagnant, you have to continue to level up. That is the whole purpose. As long as you continue to level up, you're going to reach stage 5, 100%. Most people quit around stage 3. I don't know, maybe, life happens. But as long as you stay dedicated and focused on your craft and you know that this is what you want to do, I promise you, you will make it 100%. I'll see you guys in the next video.
So I want to share a quick story, explain with you who I am and what I do. My name is Damane. I'm a music producer from Atlanta, Georgia, and I don't work with the biggest artists in the world: Drake, Gunna, Lil Wayne, Young Thug, Lil Baby. You name it, 21 Savage, I don't work with them. And not only was I able to do that, I done spent the last 3 years helping hundreds of producers just like you start from absolutely nothing and start selling their beats, getting their first sales, getting their first placements, getting their first plaques, even some people getting record deals, bro. You need to surround yourself with people that have accomplished the things that you want to do in your life if you want to win. And that's why I created the Producer Pathway. What is that? The Producer Pathway is the #1 community for producers where we're growing, learning, connecting, and simplifying the process of producing. You're going to get access to 5 hours of course videos taught by me. You're also going to get all of my kits, all of my loops, all of my MIDI packs, every single thing that I have to offer. You're going to get. Also, I'm going to give you a copy of my newest book, Brick by Brick, where I started from absolutely nothing and told the story about sleeping in my car to working with Drake and working with the biggest artists in the world, how you can do the same thing. You're also going to get access to the Bricks Academy Lite, which is a super light version of my 6-week-long program where producers learn how to sell their beats, get placements, start networking, and start getting progress. You need to be around people that build you up instead of break you down, and that's why we do weekly Zoom calls with the industry's top producers so you can connect with them one-on-one and start networking. Bro, but everybody that's on this video right now, I'm gonna do something so special. I'm gonna offer all of this stuff at a price that is truly ridiculous. If you're a music producer or a beat maker, this community is for you. Lock in right now and become a founding member before the price goes up, guys. You're gonna be getting weekly calls, kits, MIDIs, plug-in presets, melodies, copy of my book, a copy of my course, a copy of my... Actually, I just did a viral content creation guide. I also put that in there. It's a whole bunch of awesome stuff, guys. The time to act is now. Join the community. Just remember, sometimes it's the smallest decisions that could change your life forever. Get around people that are winning, that can show you that everything that you need to know to take your career to the next level. This could change everything for you guys. Click the link, join the community, and I'll see you guys there.